We welcome you to the Paradise Coast, where it is
Luxury isn't just about where you live, it's about how you live.
We welcome you to the Paradise Coast, where it is Snowbird Derby Day in Naples. FC Naples and Westchester both looking to get back in the win column and bounce back after cold spells. And tonight's match is presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System, care for every goal. We say hello and welcome to Paradise Coast Sports Complex. I'm Sam Goldfarb. It is a pair of sides that have dropped each of their last 3 league fixtures, and when you look at the numbers on your screen, very underwhelming. Just one combined goal for both teams across that stretch, and struggling at the back. The number that jumps out, 7 goals allowed for Naples in that span. That is uncharacteristic for a side that is normally secure at the back. But Naples did enjoy a bounce-back performance last week in the Prinks Cup. Yes, they did fall behind against Sporting Jacks under 20 minutes in. Edgardo Rito leading this counterattack, and Ahmad Alkak the beneficiary to power the visitors in front on 17 minutes. But Naples would power through with an equalizer on 90+3. That would force a penalty shootout, and Joshua Grant, the reserve goalkeeper, the hero, denying Kieran Sadlier and powering Naples to 2 points from an available 3. It is a team, though, that is pretty light at the back. A pair of players in Mastro Antonio and Tristan Rose out at center back. So Gio Miglietti, a listed forward, steps in at center back. He's our player to watch, presented by Parker Hudson Holmes, someone who did play center back for 2 years in college. He is a competitor, according to Matt Poland, and he will have to compete for 90 minutes if Naples is to get a result here this evening. On the opposite end of things for Westchester, this is a side that experienced a familiar game script to one they faced many times a year ago. Coming from behind to take a 2-1 lead against New York Cosmos. Blumstein getting on the score sheet to level it shortly after halftime in the Prinks Cup. And then Ermin Makic with this stunner. And many thought, hey, Westchester can ride this momentum and notch a first win in 6 games. But it was not to be. They concede twice in the final 10 minutes. Nick Mendonca on 81 minutes, and then on 90+5, Christian Kofi stealing it for New York Cosmos and snatching all 3 points under Westchester's nose. It was heartbreak once again at Memorial Field. But the player to watch is the goal scorer for Westchester from that fixture, presented by Parker Hudson Holmes. Blumstein is someone who finally opened his account in Westchester colors a week ago. Someone that George Jokai feels is exceptional at getting in goal-scoring positions. Now it's just about maximizing that composure and taking the chances. We'll see if he can do that against a makeshift back line tonight. Just about ready to get everything underway in the first of 2 Snowbird derbies here tonight. Naples against Westchester for the first time this year. One of these 2 sides looking to snap prolonged winless runs. Stick with us. Lineups and kickoff next.
Luxury isn't just about where you live, it's about how you live. At Parker Hudson Homes, we craft bespoke residences where elegance meets effortless comfort. From custom builds to refined remodels, every detail is designed around you, your style, your vision, your way of living. Create a home that's truly yours and discover Parker Hudson Homes today.
See your shot land on a perfectly manicured fairway. Hear the pop of a paddle meeting the ball. Feel the excitement of cheering on your team for the big win. And when the final whistle blows or the last putt drops, the day is far from over. Because here, world-class play meets white sand beaches and award-winning dining. One visit and you'll see why this is paradise in every sense. Experience it yourself in Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast.
welcome you back to Naples, where today's starting lineups are brought to you by VCC Roofing. For Matt Pullen, 3 changes from Sunday's tie in the Prince Cup against Sporting Club Jacksonville. They come at the back. Miglietti at center back with Mastro Antonio and Rose still recovering from injuries. They're available on the bench. Meanwhile, Joshua Grant slots in between the sticks as Delgado deals with a tender shoulder. On the opposite end of things, for Westchester, 2 changes from that defeat against the Cosmos last Friday night. Blumstein remains up top. Bauman remains at center back with some injuries plaguing the back line. Meanwhile, Erman Makic slots into the 11 and into the 10 role, with Evans dropping back to accommodate him. Well, we are just about ready to get everything going here from Paradise Coast Sports Complex. It is a lovely night for football in Naples, Florida. 83 degrees, and Naples hoping to make it a lovely night results-wise. Another Snowbird Derby chapter set to be written here. Will it be Naples prevailing, or will it be Westchester snapping their winless run? Find out over the course of 90 minutes and change. It will be Naples going from right to left, Westchester from left to right, and we are underway here from Paradise Coast Sports Complex. A pair of sides combined 13 winless across all competitions, looking to snap that drought and get back into the win column in league play. Sam Goldfarb taking you every step of the way here this evening. The 4th edition of the Snowbird Derby, and all even results-wise prior to this one. A win, a draw, and a loss for each team across the 2025 meetings. It's been an interesting stretch here for Naples. You look at the 7 winless across all comps. That's the longest winless run in club history. But when you actually consider context and the performances, Matt Pullen feels that it isn't exactly cause for alarm. His side not only having to face multiple USL Championship sides in that spell, facing Orlando City in a match where arguably they should have ended level on 90 minutes. Boise and Knoxville mixed in hasn't made things calm either. So it is not necessarily a favorable stretch, and it's all come in fast succession. So they feel that this is more of a blip than anything else here tonight in a fixture many would feel is favorable, and hoping they can dispel any doubts. Well, for Westchester, it was shades of last season, despite a completely overhauled roster, a new head coaching staff led by George Jokai. They have still dealt with similar issues. One of the rockiest defenses in the league now, with 15 goals allowed through just 8 games in league play. And you couple that with last week's meltdown in the final 10 minutes of that Prince Cup Derby match against the Cosmos. And it isn't exactly great reading for those that support the club, but they feel that there are signs that they can compete in this league, and they're hoping that a road result can reinforce that. As you get your first look at Matt Pullen, spoke about how proud he was of his side a week ago against Sporting Jags, capping off a run of 3 matches in the span of a week, and it was all very difficult fixtures, a trip to Spokane and Boise before returning home in the Prince Cup against Jacksonville. And he said, when we went 1 down, we easily could have given up the fight and thrown in the towel, and we did not do that. He was very proud of his side for continuing to press their winning habits and push on and find that equalizer in the dying embers. He feels that that is a chance for them to reestablish momentum following the rockier spell. There's Miglietti, the makeshift center back this evening. Hands it back to Josh Grant. Big week for the 18-year-old. Of course, the 2 monstrous saves when he came in relief of Lalo Delgado in the final 13 minutes on Sunday. Couple that with a pair of penalty stops and a call-up to the Jamaican senior national team for the first time ever. Set to join them following the conclusion of this fixture. Here's Evans. to Guzin, who's always dangerous. Picks out Makic. A low cross in. Cleared away by Yoder rather comfortably. Makic again. Did not win a corner for his side. There's your look at George Jokai, his first season at the helm of Westchester SC, and he's been tasked with rebuilding a roster that finished bottom of the league a year ago. He's spoken so much about opting for more youth in this squad this year, coupled with a squad that is based around the Westchester area. This is lofted long to Boxstein and collected by Luca Marinelli, who's dealt a parting gift at the end of that interchange. Still prone on the deck. Seems no worse for wear. Boxstein just can't slow himself up. A different day, maybe would have seen yellow for that sort of challenge. Fans, it's now time for the injury report, which is presented by the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro, big enough to handle serious cases, small enough to care. None officially reported for either side, but you look at the rosters and there are certainly players who are limited tonight. We mentioned Mastro Antonio as well as Tristan Rose suffering injuries on Sunday, so both of those players for Naples left on the bench here tonight. Meanwhile, for Westchester, despite not reporting injuries, they've dealt with their fair share of issues at the back. Tim Timchenko just returning to the squad after a prolonged absence here, in addition to Rashid Teta, who's out for personal reasons here tonight. So they're forced to play Daniel Bauman, a listed box-to-box midfielder, as a center back here. This is Cisneros, who bombs forward. The cross to Boxstein! Just headed over. There is the venom with which FC Naples can break on full display. It's a great cross from Cisneros, and Boxstein just gets a touch underneath this. Had Marinelli backtracking. Westchester's goalkeeper can sit in relief as that flies over. It's now time for our keys to the match, presented by Florida's Paradise Coast. For Naples, keeping things compact, especially early on, is key. This is a side that, throughout its winless run, has struggled to keep teams out in the opening 20 minutes, including that draw against Sporting Jags. And Matt Pullen has mentioned, especially in this game, you need to be tight against a Westchester side that counters aggressively. For Westchester, staying switched on is the biggest key for them. George Jokai mentioning that in many respects, he's expressed the same message in a different font for the bulk of this last month. Feels his side is doing a lot of good things in possession, but too many lapses in concentration without the ball has cost them far too often this season. As Miglietti is penalized for that overzealous challenge. And early on, our referee Benjamin Meyer with plenty to sort out here. Evans. Jennings. Overhit on that occasion for Daniel Burko, who's been moved out wide to accommodate Blumstein. Well, for those just joining us, we welcome you to Naples, Florida, the fourth chapter all-time in the Snowbird Derby between FC Naples and Westchester Soccer Club, a fixture that originated between then expansion clubs a year ago. It's named after the snowbird phenomenon, many from the north migrating to the south, both the southwest and southeast coast of Florida during the wintertime. They call those people snowbirds, so as a result, that derby founded. So far, the competition between North and South rather even. A win, a draw, and a loss for both teams across this fixture. Last time out, a 2-0 victory for Westchester in Westchester County. First two meetings in Naples, where the hosts claimed 4 points from an available 6. There's Farine, who touches it onto O'Connor. Decent look, but can't keep it down. It's a crunching challenge from Miglietti. And he dispossesses Evans with relative aplomb. See if Max Jennings has a long throw in his locker. Burko into the box, cuts it across to Dean Guzin, who blazes it over. And it took a touch on the way, according to our official. Quite the start here. Chances both ways. This Westchester's first. You see Burko blaze into the area, and Guzin just overhits this. May have been aided by a touch defensively. Either way, here's Westchester's first chance. Now Evans clips it in. Corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Dickerson back into the mix. And it goes down for Westchester, but the appeal's half-hearted from the visitors here. Well, fans, turn to the CBS Sports Network on Saturday, May 30th for a USL Championship battle for the top of the Eastern Conference. Reigning Players Shield winner Louisville City hosts the undefeated Tampa Bay Rowdies at 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch all of the action on the CBS Sports Network May 30th. All part of the increased platform of USL Championship and League One. FC Naples, no stranger to national television. Last Wednesday, their last league match was on the CBS Sports Network. 2-0 defeat at AC Boise. Part of this winless rut that has hampered them of late. It's a physical challenge from Guzin, and it's one that draws the ire of our official. Cisneros. Gets his pass Burko. Charges ahead. In there to break it up. Someone who is the press-resistant magician in the heart of midfield for Westchester. Early on, you see the match of cat and mouse unfolding. Westchester keen to sit on the ball. Meanwhile, Naples looking for opportunities to counter when they win it back. Matt Poland is a disciple of the Red Bull way, if you will. Someone who's in the past spoken about the study that shows goals are most likely to occur within 8 seconds of a giveaway. And Naples builds itself on that. It is a squad that has been known for its defensive solidity and fierce counterattacking style since its inception a year ago. Happy to let Westchester build and pounce the other direction when the opportunity presents. This is Guzin for Westchester. Clever touch from Blumstein. Makic. And cleanly by Taylor Gray. O'Connor. Torres. Connor, broken up by McGlynn. Here's Burko. His work rate has been praised consistently by George Jokai. Fareed. Colombian dynamo on the left flank. Torres. Sprays it wide to Taylor Gray. This time left it dangling for Dickerson. You have to wonder psychologically where both teams' heads are at. Matt Pullen's mentioned that he's reaffirmed with his side it's about winning habits, and while this is a results-based business, the focus on continuing to work hard off the ball and stay true to your principles is what wins you matches. Says not all winning habits always lead to wins, but in the long run, it tends to yield the results you desire, and that's what he's reinforced with his side this week. For George Jokai, I'm sure his side feels slightly frustrated by the way results have spun of late. A 1-0 defeat a couple weeks ago at Fort Wayne, a match in which they were on the front foot, and then that fixture on Friday night in which they had control for the better part of the key moments in that fixture and just conceded twice in the final 10. Both these teams will be forced to think things over because a lightning delay has been issued on the pitch. We will step aside briefly and let you know more updates when we have them in this Snowbird Derby clash. Still no score between Naples and Westchester. We welcome you back to Naples, where we are just about set to resume action in the 4th edition of the Snowbird Derby. This battle between FC Naples and Westchester set to resume after a weather delay that lasted well over an hour, but finally the weather has cooperated and we are set to get things back underway. No score between these two entities through the opening quarter of an hour. The question is, will one of these sides grab the upper hand in the 30 minutes before halftime? Sam Goldfarb taking you the remainder of this one. We thank you for staying with us through this prolonged weather delay. Hudson Gay will get us back underway for FC Naples as these two sides lock horns for the first of 2 times this season on Memorial Day weekend. And finally, after a weather delay that lasted about an hour and 20 minutes, we resume action as that long-range effort draws a save on a Marinelli. And already, Naples logging the match's first shot on target within 10 seconds of the restart. That's one way to draw the goalkeeper's attention. Ping one right at him after he's been sat for about an hour, just trying to keep sharp. Seems Marinelli was. There's a pair of sides that enter riding 6+ match winless runs. Westchester pushing forward here, and Guzen can't find Blumstein. A pair of Dutch lads that we're hoping to link up on that occasion. Yoder, not on the same wavelength as his counterpart Arevalo. Burko, first team All-CAA selection with Hofstra this past fall. Double-digit goals, has yet to translate that to league play, but a trio of tallies to his name across all comps this year. It is an interesting contrast between home and away form. This Naples side still has a winning record at home this year. 3 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, but they've already matched the same number of defeats they suffered a year ago in league play on this ground when they went 9-2-6 at Paradise Coast Sports Complex. It was a fortress, and it was a big part of the reason why they were able to progress to the semifinals in their inaugural season. Getting that home playoff game on the final day of the regular season and surviving on penalties against a then red-hot Union Omaha side. It's a Westchester squad that, unfortunately for them, finished well outside reach of the playoff chase a year ago. They were the first team eliminated from playoff contention in early October of the 2025 season. Complete squad overhaul, including an overhaul of the coaching staff, resulted. George Jokai is hoping to stabilize the ship before they experience the same fate of a year ago. O'Connor. Farine is a clever ball. It's not one that reaches Arevalo, though. Picked up by Torres. And Farine doesn't control it adequately there. It's been a big week for Luca Marinelli. You get your look at him between the sticks. 22-year-old out of Milford, Connecticut. Someone who was unknown to George Jokai prior to this year. George Jokai prides himself on being quite familiar with the Westchester area. Of course, coached with local youth clubs throughout the region. FC Westchester, the prominent job, as well as coaching at Purchase College, which is nearby D3 school. And someone who prides himself on building relationships with a lot of the local talent. But Marinelli, from just outside Westchester County in southern Connecticut, was not really a known commodity to him, but Westchester's dealt with some real goalkeeping issues between the sticks health-wise, with Hammersley and Molina going down, and needed to make a 25-day signing. So they bring in Marinelli, who was recommended by one of his former goalkeeping coaches at the club level, often told George Jokai that, hey, you need to keep an eye on this kid. He can really help you out. And he feels that Marinelli's done a wonderful job filling in Hammersley's stead, despite all of the chopping and changing on the back line. Here's Pierre, a steadying force at center back these last few weeks. He's taken away by Guzin. Hudson Gay. Over hits it for Bockstein. Blumstein scored his first goal in Westchester colors a week ago. 8 days ago, to be precise, in that Prinks Cup defeat against New York Cosmos. It's a clever touch from Evans, well outside the reach of Burko. And Cisneros clatters into the gates. Torres is less than pleased with Daniel Burko there. Didn't seem intentional. You see here it's a little drag and shove, and actually there's more intent in that than it originally looked. Burko receiving a stern talking to from our lead official, Benjamin Meyer. He almost hooks Cisneros by the waist and flings him into the gates there. Perhaps he's a lucky boy to escape a yellow card. Daniel Burko is someone who's known for his high work rate. He's known for his passion, relentless energy. On that occasion, maybe it worked against him. Either way, the referee's happy to wave play on, and no real extras popped off after the fact. Well, if you are FC Naples, you are content with the scoreline as it is at the moment. Pat Poland is someone who prefers to win 1-0 than 4-3. He's spoken a lot about how defensive solidity is the foundation of his team, but throughout this winless rut, defensive issues in the opening 20 minutes have been the common theme. They've weathered that storm and really protected themselves well. Follow tracks that right into Bauman, and it is just a goal kick. He's a side that has conceded inside the opening 20 minutes a number of times of late, including the AC Boise match, as well as that Spokane clash a week prior. Well, fans, watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Midway through this first half, for those joining us, we welcome you to Naples, Florida for this edition of the Snowbird Derby between Naples and Westchester. No score at the moment, as Burko's looking to change that. Just lost out to Miglietti. Simple Farm bringing you through this action. It is a match that was delayed over an hour due to lightning in the area, but we are finally back underway and happy to bring you the bulk of this one. Cisneros. A Trivella ball that eluded Bockstein. Burko giving chase and wins the foot race with Cisneros. Burko is shoved down in the area, and our referee is unmoved. Cisneros winning it cleanly. There's Bockstein. As runners in support. Hudson Gay. Cisneros. Poland says he's never had a fullback as goal dangerous as Julian Cisneros. And in a season where there's been more rotation than he would have hoped on the back line, Cisneros has been the paragon of stability. Last week adding that equalizer as well in a key moment against Sporting Jacks in the Prinks Cup. Gray. He's looking for Arafalo. Comes out to Cisneros. Farine tries from afar. Comes off the back of Bauman. Guzin out of danger. As far as Gio Miglietti, though. And for those just joining us, he is filling in at center back tonight. A listed forward who spent the entirety of his next pro tenure up front, but has a history of playing center back in college. And with Luca Mastrantonio, as well as Tristan Rose, dealing with lingering knocks from last week, he is tipped to fill the void. Played that entire second half against Sporting Jacks on Sunday at center back after coming on midway through the first half for Tristan Rose. And Matt Poland said he filled in more than adequately. Also praised his defenders around him for not losing their heads and adapting to that scenario on the fly. Despite the one lapse that allowed Sporting Jacks to counter inside the opening 20, they were pretty sound the remainder of the fixture. Didn't leave themselves exposed despite pushing for that equalizer throughout the bulk of the match. This is Burko. Wins a free kick for Westchester. And that matchup between Burko and Julian Cisneros has already become a major flashpoint in this. It's a Herman Makic with a chance to play this in the quarter of uncertainty. And it's all popping off in the area now. And it's starting to have a derby-like feel. This is all getting rather contentious between the two clubs. You sense the desperation, both needing 3 points here. Just before this free kick is taken, some shoving. Hudson Gay was pushed pretty heavily. And ultimately, the remainder of the Naples team took exception to that. It's been that kind of fixture. Both sides up for a true scrap. Take two now for Makic. Taken short. Guzin clips it to the back stick. It's headed on into the mix for Blumstein. And the whistle sounds against Westchester. Cisneros. Blumstein. Hold up play that Westchester has lacked for large spells. Goes down, sticks with it. Across the face. Jennings ultimately powers it out of play. Both teams still trying to rediscover their rhythm here, evidently. This game had a nice flow to it through the opening 15 minutes. You saw Westchester create a couple chances as the protagonist inside that span. Meanwhile, Naples on the counter probably had the best opportunity of the match through Dominic Bockstein. A looping header that just went over the bar inside the opening 10. These sides still trying to rediscover their footing since that barn-burning start. Here's Burko. Centerpiece for Westchester so far tonight. It's an arcing cross. It's all the way to the back stick. Evades Guzin on that occasion. Gray away. Approaching the 30-minute threshold. Still nothing to separate these two clubs. It's a Naples side that sits above the playoff line by 3 points, but has fallen all the way from 1st to 5th within the last month. They've also played more matches than a lot of their counterparts, so always been at a slight disadvantage in regard to the top 4 chase early on. So Westchester squad, meanwhile, that for all of the trouble the last month or so, sits within 3 points of the playoff line. It is a very, very competitive race for the top 8, at least inside these opening 2 months. A long season for all of these clubs to just try and remain within the hunt. Arevalo overzealous and fouled Evans in the process. Here is Evans. It's perhaps George Jokai's crown jewel in many respects. Played at Marist for a few years. Back-to-back All-Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference selection. Declaring to go pro a year early. He has set the world alight in Westchester colors. Arevalo evades the challenge of McGlynn. Switches the play wonderfully to Farine, and this is where he's at his best. Still with Andres Farine. And Jennings finally wins that second battle. Cisneros. Deflected cross, and the match's first corner for FC Naples. It is a side that has struggled to carve out consistent real estate in the final third, but finally, just beyond the 30-minute threshold, they have their first corner kick, which is presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Target practice for Mark Torres. Himself and Kevin O'Connor have been the go-tos from these scenarios all year long. What can he conjure here for Naples? Torres within swing. It's an inviting ball. Punched away by Marinelli, who claims the return. He's looked up for it. His third league start. Doesn't look the part of a rookie by any means. Evans. Someone who hasn't looked like a rookie from the moment he stepped on the field. And this is a magical run forward. And clipped at the heels by Torres. Yellow card shown as well for his reaction. The yellow card presented by the exclusive personal injury attorneys for FC Naples, the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro. And this is an appetizing spot for a set piece for Westchester. Likely too far out to think about a shot. And you see Evans here just weaving a web of lies, deletes Farine and Yoder from the equation before Torres comes in too assertively for Benjamin Meyer's liking, and that reaction is ultimately what earns him a booking. So he'll have to walk the tightrope. Perhaps Naples' best ball winner on the pitch at the moment. Here's Ermin Makic, who stands over this. Has enjoyed a fantastic start to his second season with Westchester. Curls it into the court of uncertainty and evades everyone in white. Torres. Loses out on that time. Burko hooks it ahead. Way by Yoder. Fan Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Business end of this first half, and still no score in this first Snowbird Derby of 2 this season between Westchester and FC Naples. Westchester with the better of possession, but very little to show for it in the way of opportunities, and Naples themselves still looking to rediscover a footing since this rain-altered restart. At the moment, it's been a tense, physical affair that has maybe lacked the rhythm of past meetings. Ravallo. Farine can't keep it in play. Lost in the shuffle of both these team storylines, especially on Naples' side, is the turnover. We've spoken about how George Jokai's overhauled things in the hopes of leading a bounce-back season this year for Westchester. Naples, meanwhile, they had a successful inaugural season, finished 4th in USL League One, and had one of the best goal scorers in the league in Carson Henderlong, not to mention a ball winner in Chris Heckenberg that was severely underrated. And they've lost a good chunk of the team that finished top 4. In fact, 6 of the 13 players to log double-digit starts, and all 3 of their all-League One selections have all departed, including their 2 starting center backs in Jake Dengler and Breck Evans. That's really forced them to retool, especially at the back, as this is a half-volley effort from Gray that was always more speculative than anything. And Matt Pullen's spoken about how a lot of the players he's brought in haven't really experienced many of the teams in this league that they face. He's brought in players from both inside and outside the League One fold, a number of players as well that have come up through Next Pro. So he's been forced to tweak and alter things, and the players have been forced to learn on the fly relative to last season when there were maybe more experienced veterans in the fold and a generational type forward talent in Carson Henderlong up front, at least for this league standards. Goals have still been something that Matt Pullen has also felt his side struggling with. Just 10 league goals in as many league matches, and don't quite have the true target goal-scoring presence in Henderlong, even with Bockstein producing maybe ahead of schedule for Naples. Torres looking for Bockstein on the return. This is Guzin for Westchester. Looks long for Blumstein. O'Connor. Will one of these teams find that elusive breakthrough before intermission? Will it be a story of regrouping and trying to find that fluidity again? Farine. Bockstein. Sticks with it tenaciously. O'Connor. Farine. And Onse Calda stand out in the youth ranks. Low cross. Way there. Not only as far as Ravallo. Burko. Plays out of trouble well. And this is McGlynn. Torres, providing far more forward punch this season. Farine has Cisneros with him. Torres again. Ray looking back for Torres. Falls for Cisneros. Cuts it inside, and it rockets off the crossbar. Golden chance for FC Naples, and it comes off of a cross-turn shot from Cisneros. Not sure he meant this. It just deflects awkwardly, and he tries to ping in a cross, and instead it goes goalward. Has Marinelli beaten. And unfortunately for Julian Cisneros, he doesn't get the pleasant kiss off the underside of the bar. But that is an eyebrow-raising moment, and perhaps an eye-opening one for Westchester defensively. Completely picked apart. Suddenly, Naples has grabbed this by the scruff of the neck. Final 5 minutes of the first, and it just seems like the visitors are clinging on for dear life. Miglietti has not looked out of place at center back by any means. Dickerson charging forward. Ended by Hudson Gay. And they come back to the earlier challenge. Discontent starting to brew throughout Naples' squad. It seems Hudson Gay felt he won that ball cleanly. Talking to Matt Pullen this week, he mentioned the importance of just having a proper week-long training cycle. His most recent matches have been all crammed together. Of course, they made the round of 32 of the Open Cup, and that was coupled with a pretty heavy league schedule to open May. Matches against Knoxville, and then 2 games in the span of a week before that Jacksonville match on Sunday. That involved trips to Spokane and Boise. He's mentioned how throughout that they had to consolidate their prep, limited the amount of training they could actually do just due to the need to regen and recover between fixtures. But now he had 6 days to get everybody set for this fixture, and he felt that that would be beneficial. Starting to see maybe the positive ramifications of that. A side that looks a little fresher and sharper in the way it's moved, although it still very much has yet to hit top gear, especially going forward here tonight. Guzin, run down by Taylor Gray. Spins past 2, and sticking with it. Looked at the legs, cleanly according to our referee. And now Guzin breaking the other direction. Hunting Blumstein. Instead it's broken up by Torres. And this is a swashbuckling affair we were hoping for. Marinelli looking long. Evans played in a deeper lying role, but it's by no means looked out of place. Guzin now floating inside. Blumstein has options. It's cut out before it can reach Guzin. One back though. McGlynn. Ebbs and flows in this one. Naples had their moment mere minutes ago. And now Westchester starting to spread them out. Guzin. He's someone that roams around the pitch with utmost freedom. Jennings. Farine. And this is where Naples can be so punishing. Boxty. Sprays it wide to Gray, and the ball reaches him and has numbers in the box. Gray's cross, it's dangerous, it falls kindly, and Naples strikes first. In a blink, Arevalo powers the home side in front, and they lead in the Snowbird Derby. First professional goal for William Arevalo, and there's just numbers flooding the area. Westchester tries so desperately to clear, but it falls so nicely for Arevalo, who lashes at it with such ferocity. There is no chance for Marinelli, and FC Naples takes a lead just before halftime. Big moment for William Arevalo, a first professional goal for the Colombia native. Joined after spending last year in the semi-pro ranks of Colombian football. This is opportunity to revitalize his career as a professional, and he strikes for the first time in Naples colors. He provides Naples his goal, which is presented by Hop-Sized. FC Naples 1, Westchester 0 on the stroke of intermission. Arevalo has bounced around Portuguese, Italian, Colombian football, all in the lower semi-pro ranks. Now stoppage time on the clock, which is presented by Classic Diamond Plumbing. Just a minute for Westchester to make a dent in this. And we've already had it. McGlynn. Guzin has Makic. Cross is deflected. Goes out for a corner. And it appears there is still time to take this. Corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Westchester's final chance for a retort before intermission. It is Guzin over it. This would be an outswinger if he goes direct. Drives it in, Cisneros away with relative confidence, and there is the halftime whistle. Highlight reel end to the first half. FC Naples striking in fantastic fashion. William Arevalo on 45 minutes making the difference, and FC Naples leads after one half of play in this lightning-affected Snowbird Derby. Our score at halftime, FC Naples 1, Westchester SC 0. Luca Marinelli will have a lot to think about after that ball blazed by him for the opener just before halftime. We'll take a quick breather here from Naples. When we return to look around League One, as things stand, William Arevalo the difference maker in this edition of the Snowbird Derby. Stick with us. We will be right back from the Paradise Coast. We welcome you back to Naples. We're at halftime, presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. Care for every goal. The scoreline reads FC Naples 1, Westchester 0. William Arevalo, the difference maker on 45 minutes. It's time to get a look around USL League One, starting with our team of the week for Week 10. Not too much representation in this match. In fact, none to be precise, but some standout performers, including Nat Bentley, who was named Player of the Week after his hat trick a couple of weeks back. Meanwhile, Godwin Answe, after scoring a stunner against Ford Madison, into the team. Aaron Shipman, a familiar face in USL League One, between the sticks as well. And Mike Avery, Coach of the Week, after leading Fort Wayne to a 1-0 victory over Westchester. Now it's time to get a look at our Goal of the Week and Save of the Week in USL League One. End to end, Antwi curls it goalward. Oh, it's sensational!
Godwin Antwi doubles AV Alta's lead over Ford Madison with a laser beneath the crossbar. And it comes on a play that is pretty well defended. Antwi comes from the right side and is immediately picked up by Madison's Gin Kenyane. But Antwi's teammate, Christian Ortiz, continues his run towards the corner that sends Madison defenders his way and leaves just enough space for Antwi to cut towards the middle. And look at where this shot enters the goal. It was nearly a miracle save by the keeper, but instead it's our select League One Goal of the Week.
In-swinger, headed out, stopped by Levy! Second chance, no good! Matt Levy, are you kidding me?
Wilson with a heat-seeking missile! Now from distance, shot once more, and score!
Now and then, you need to stop and smell the roses. Or the leaves, rocks, trees, sticks, and that one tree again.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
You ever just look at them and think, yeah, I'm doing all right.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
I truly give everything that I can for them.
It's like, all right, we're in this and we're gonna go for it.
Esto es la porra, this is who we are.
Everybody here doing the heartbeat, having everybody in the stadium do that was just killed.
We welcome you back to Naples. We're at halftime, presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. FC Naples holds a narrow 1-0 advantage for Westchester SC in the latest edition of the Snowbird Derby. Now it's time to get a look around USL League One, scoreline-wise, here in match week 11 with our out-of-town scores presented by CVB. And here is your look at the current state of affairs in USL League One. Portland battling to a 1-1 draw with Greenville triumph. Meanwhile, Charlotte toppling Madison, and then 3 other 1-0 scorelines at halftime. The surprise of the night so far, a 1-0 lead for Fort Wayne over AC Boise at halftime. That is definitely an eyebrow-raising result if that holds. In terms of our big storylines from around the league as well, there are a number of standout moments that have characterized USL League One. Here's your look at the big news and notes from around the league. number of big standout storylines here. Well, anyway, beyond that, there is a big one tonight. AB Alta taking on New York Cosmos. Now it's time to get a look at our halftime update. Dan Lucas has more.
It is halftime in League One. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with some of the League One headlines. Aside from a very busy USL Cup weekend, there were some league matches, and Union Omaha pulled off a big win on the road against One Knoxville. Sergio Ors Navarro's 84th minute goal was the difference in the 2-1 final. That's the second home loss of the season for One Knox and vaults Omaha to the top of the League One table. 3 League One clubs scored regulation victories over USL Championship clubs in round 2 of the Prinks Tires USL Cup. Portland Hearts of Pine defeated Rhode Island 2-1. AC Boise rallied to beat Monterey Bay 4-3. And Spokane Velocity scored early in a 1-0 win over Las Vegas Lights. And 2 more League One clubs, FC Naples and Charlotte Independence, won penalty kick shootouts against championship teams. Congratulations to Corpus Christi veteran player Kristen Cheney for making his 50th career goal contribution in Week 11. His assist against Charlotte Independence gives him 12 assists to go with 38 goals in 111 career matches. Upcoming national spotlight games in the championship on CBS Sports Network. Sporting Jacks in San Antonio next Wednesday. And then a big one between Louisville City and Tampa Bay Rowdies on the 30th. And another tough test for the Rowdies against Charleston Battery on June 10th. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
Sink your toes into soft, white sand, splash in the sparkling waters of the Gulf, and revel in the warmth of sunny, blue skies. Take a moment to breathe in the salt-touched air and listen to the tide as it rises and falls along the shoreline. This is paradise in every sense, and winter here simply feels wonderful. Experience it yourself in Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast.
Hey, I'm ravenous, man. What's for lunch? Bro, I could really go for a sandwich right now.
Nah, let's do steak.
Nah, man, I'm feeling some pasta.
Back post. It's loose. It's on the doorstep. Did it go in? No sign yet.
Green on it. He finishes it.
We welcome you back to Naples, where it's time to get a look at our first half highlights presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. Care for every goal, and this is a major compilation of Naples' chances before the rain delay. Dominic Bockstein heading over the bar, and then Westchester had their moments the other way, but primarily Naples was the side threatening, even without the ball consistently. Aravallo drawing this big save out of Marinelli after the rain delay restart, and then on 40 minutes, Naples continuing to push. Mark Torres sees this ball to Julian Cisneros, who tries to cross it and nearly winds up pinging it in. A cross-turn shot that rockets off the crossbar. Still level, though, until 45 minutes, when finally things would break for Westchester defensively. Unable to clear convincingly, and William Aravallo makes them pay with his first career goal. Bockstein just drawing the center back Baumann into action. It falls so nicely for Aravallo, who powers it well beyond the reach of Marinelli, and the moment that separates the two teams. In terms of our halftime stats presented by Arthrex, does an injury have you benched? Explore orthopedic treatment options today at orthopedia.com, powered by Arthrex. Westchester slightly behind in every statistical category. It's not like Naples had a large spell of that 54% possession in Westchester's half until maybe the final 10 minutes of the first half. But a 9-2 shot advantage. Westchester, meanwhile, still has yet to put a shot on target. The lone chance they had that was really glaring was the Guzin chance before the rain delay. That effort was deflected out of play. Other than that, they have really struggled to trouble Joshua Grant between the sticks. All in all, Naples with an advantage across the board, including on the score sheet. And that sets the stage for what should be a very entertaining second half for Paradise Coast Sports Complex. Naples right now looking to see things out and achieve a major victory. Snap a 7-match winless run across all comps, which is the record in their young history. Meanwhile, Westchester just desperate to salvage something and avoid yet another defeat. It would be, if they were to fall tonight, a 6th defeat in the last 7 matches. They have not won a game since winning against Sarasota Paradise on April 8th. Have not won a match on the road this season either. Have not won a road match since June of last year, actually. That came against Forward Madison, one of just 2 road fixtures in league play they won a season ago. So battling history that dates back nearly an entire calendar year against a Naples side that has made this venue a fortress throughout their history. Westchester will get us back underway, going from right to left on your screen. Naples from left to right. Will it be FC Naples snapping this winless rut and compounding Westchester's misery? Or will Westchester find a way to turn this around after suffering heartbreak from a winning position a week ago? Find out in a matter of 45 minutes and change here from the Paradise Coast. We finish out Chapter 4 of the Snowbird Derby in a matter of minutes. Sam Goldfarb taking you the remainder of the way. We thank you for sticking with us here from Paradise Coast Sports Complex. It is Naples in front, courtesy of William Aravallo's 45th minute strike, and it is a deserved advantage thus far for a side that has been the protagonist since the rain delay restart. No changes for either side. Following those opening 45 minutes, it is a Westchester squad that is rather thin on the bench. Meanwhile, for Naples, 2 of their substitutes can only play limited minutes in Luca Mastrantonio, as well as his counterpart Tristan Rose at the back. Not to mention Jaden Strumeyer, who's also returned from a prolonged absence and cracked the subs bench. He'll probably find himself limited as well. So all in all, not many outfield players Matt Pullen can call on for more than half an hour. As Blumstein and company win a set piece for Westchester. Well, mind you, 2 minutes after the restart last week, Westchester was able to strike and find an equalizer. That, though, a much different fixture. They were on the front foot for the majority of it. That cannot be said for this, as Josh Yoder enters the book. A yellow card presented by the exclusive personal injury attorneys of FC Naples, Mark L. Shapiro, and his law offices. It is Erman Makic, the lone man in the vicinity of this set piece, and it is not a bad position to ask questions of the Naples defense. It's taken short. McGlynn has room for a hit, and he didn't miss by much. Connor McGlynn has a knack for the spectacular. Had his eyes on testing the 18-year-old between the sticks. This is well within his range. He just hits it with the inside of his boot, tries to curl it for that bottom right, and he's just off there. That, though, a warning shot for Naples. Can't give him too much space. Gray. Run down by Pierre. He's dealt the after effects of that by Hudson Gay. And both have come off in a considerable bit of discomfort. It is not a Naples side that can afford more injury issues on the back line. We've spoken about the ailments that are going on there. Let's get another look at this. It's just a 50-50 ball. Pierre wins the foot race. It is the right decision from the official because Gay comes in late. He's actually come off the more injured of the two parties, it seems. This is a difficult development. Hudson Gay, 25-year-old who joined the club on a 25-day contract in mid-March, is already filling the void of Max Glasser, who retired about a month ago, and they've been through a revolving door of options at that right fullback spot. It appears Matt Poland may have more decisions to make in a matter of moments. Hudson Gay is not able to continue.
Chef Vincenzo Batulia keeps our players well fed and ready to go. And with locations on Fifth Avenue.
You have to wonder what his team talk was like at halftime. His side 1-0 in front, probably the more decisive of the two sides, and it's a well-worked goal. But it's not like that was the most controlled of first halves. I think for George Jokai, he would have had stern words with his side. Started brightly, but since that rain delay restart, have not found their rhythm. I think he'll be quite frustrated with the way they manage that counterattack for Naples. Been unlocked by counterattack goals so frequently this season. Not the latest addition to the lot. As Gay is gingerly walking off the pitch. Poland may have a couple decisions to make if he can't continue. The job he's done at the helm of FC Naples since taking over ahead of their inaugural season, it must said, has been remarkable. Someone who took the job in July of 2024, mere months after the club was announced, and of course last season, guiding them to the playoffs in their inaugural season, which, as a first-year club, regardless of the type of players you bring in, it is exceptionally difficult, let alone the fact that they didn't do it on the biggest budget in the world. Yes, they brought in some established talents in Breck Evans and Jake Dengler, not to mention bringing Carson Henderlong down from USL Championship. But he himself says it. They got a lot of their players through open tryouts, guys that had chips on their shoulders and maybe were overthought by their previous destinations, with the exception of Evans and Dengler, of course. And he turned that club into a side that could contend with the league's best. Through this season, definitely has more structural obstacles to deal with, let alone the injuries as well. But if there's anyone you would tip to manage this scenario with the utmost confidence, it would be Matt Poland. Hudson Gay will return to play, so that is a welcome sight for FC Naples supporters. An already thin back line, at least for now, has not gotten thinner. Meanwhile, Bobby Pierre is content to continue for Westchester, and they're already starting a center back out of position, so that's a pleasant development as well. A yellow card is shown to Blumstein for that challenge. Presented by the exclusive personal injury attorneys of FC Naples, the law offices of Mark L. Shapiro. It's just a forward ball here. Overzealous challenge on Miglietti there. And Blumstein throwing the arm out recklessly. Have yet to see his best, at least tonight. He was exceptional against New York Cosmos, makes himself a real physical obstacle and gets into dangerous positions, not to mention the quality to play in Dutch football prior to this. Tonight, though, he's been left on an island and hasn't been able to entangle himself from that center back partnership. To give Miglietti and Yoder major credit for the way they've managed such a bruising presence up top. Two more old school forwards on display tonight in Bockstein and Blumstein. Cisneros. Giving away to Blumstein here. Lays this on to Burko. And it's still Daniel Burko. Too many Naples defenders in the mix. And the whistle sounds against Burko. Look on your screen. That the difference-making moment on 45 minutes. William Aravallo was a cross that wasn't dealt with comfortably enough by Daniel Baumann and company. It fell so nicely for Aravallo, who lashed at it unmarked. There was no chance for Luca Marinelli. Another counterattack that splits apart this Westchester defense, and that's been a common theme, not just throughout this season, but throughout Westchester's young history as a club. Last year, so often, they would take a lead and try to kill the match off. Sometimes would miss a chance or two, and then they'd be unlocked on the break. Hudson Gay has gone back down on the pitch. Judging from his reaction, you feel that maybe that may have been his last act. When you look at who Naples can bring on in his stead, the like-for-like replacement would be Jaden Strumeyer. The issue is Strumeyer's coming off a prolonged absence. He's not featured in the last 4 games across all comps, so out for the better part of the last 3 weeks. You see here, Gay just trying to chase Guzin, and he pulls up without any form of contact. So far, so good for that man between the sticks. Joshua Grant has played well beyond his years so far. Stepped in relief for Lalo Delgado, not just at Boise, a really difficult environment. And Matt Pullen said despite the lack of saves, he felt that Grant handled that environment and scenario rather well. Was thrust into action as well Sunday in relief of Lalo Delgado, who went down with what appeared to be a shoulder issue. Stepped in, made 2 monstrous saves to keep Naples in the match. And then in the penalty shootout, another 2 saves to help power them to an additional point in the Group 7 table. Here tonight, has yet to be forced into a stop. Has looked the part of a viable goalkeeper. Big part of the reason why he's been called up to the Jamaican senior national team for the first time in his young career this week. Double change now. He's on the way for Naples, and we are hearing word that Hudson Gay will make way. Meanwhile, in addition to that, Josh Yoder is out for Luca Mastrantonio, who missed out on the final hour due to injury on Sunday, but is able to play this closing stretch. Meanwhile, Gay is off, and he's replaced by Juan Osorio. Double swap, Osorio being forced into a right-back role, listed center midfielder. Both substitutions presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM-FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Just shy of an hour gone in round 1 of the Snowbird Derby this season, and FC Naples in charge, courtesy of William Aravallo's 45th minute strike. But forced into 2 changes. Juan Osorio is playing out of position now at right back, with Hudson Gay departing due to injury, as well as a like-for-like change at center back. Luca Mastrantonio coming off the bench, wasn't fit enough to start, but fit enough to close this out in place of Josh Yoder, who ends the night on a yellow card. So the first chess moves have been played. Osorio someone with USL Championship experience. Spent one season with San Antonio FC. Prior to that, spent the first 4 years of his career in Colombian football, though. It's been a hotbed of recruitment of late for FC Naples. Andres Farin starting that trend, and Osorio and Arevalo, both with experience there themselves. Bauman blasts it forward. Looked over the top for Burko, but too tight on Grant. Torres. Matt Pullen goes a long way back with Mark Torres. Matt Pullen himself spent multiple years on the staff of Chicago House in Niça. And during his time there, watched Mark Torres play during his junior season at Loyola Chicago and was wowed by his performances as well as Julian Cisneros's. From there, bringing both into the fold ahead of the inaugural season last year. Farin dances through traffic, goes down too lightly for our referee's liking. Cisneros. Just wonder at what point Westchester comes out of its shell. It has not been the Westchester adventurous type style we've grown used to seeing under George Jokai, who is a bit of a romantic about the game. This was turned over briefly. Dickerson clears. In this one, they've ceded far more possession in Naples than many would have thought, although Evans is looking to change that. Plays a well-weighted ball to Guzin. Spins past Osorio. Guzin with options, clips it toward the back stick. Headed away rather confidently by Torres. Just out for a corner. This is one of the more promising breaks we've seen from Westchester tonight. Guzin just turns past Osorio. There's plenty of room to cross this, and it's not a bad ball. Torres just reads it well before it can reach Burko. Cues up a long throw for Dickerson and company. Guzin. Broken out by Osorio. Gets it back from O'Connor. And Naples with space. Gray. Forced to await reinforcements. Torres. Not the first time ball he was hoping for. Well inside the final half hour. Naples just looking to see this out. Well, fans, soccer season here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Not a bad seat in the house here tonight at Paradise Coast Sports Complex. Rain-affected contest, but the fans have remained here to witness its conclusion. And when they pack this place, it is one of the best environments in the league. Think about their playoff fixture in particular against Union Omaha. What a night that was for the Naples community. And a number of nights like that where this place was rocking. Dickerson keeps it in play. Runs it right into Osorio. Gray. Plays it inside to Boxstein. Follow, hit his hand. As things currently stand, if FC Naples is to see this out, they would climb back into the top 4 on 17 points. Meanwhile, Westchester would be 4 points adrift of the playoff cut line. Portland Hearts of Pine currently occupying that 8th spot after battling to a 1-1 draw with Greenville Triumph earlier tonight. Ollie Wright leveling things from the spot. Portland unable to find a winner. Rodrigo Robles throwing a spanner in the works. Dickerson. Speculative ball at best. Moving as far as Bobby Pierre. McGlynn. Guzin. Drifts inside so effortlessly. Hearing word Westchester is readying a quadruple change. Powder, Armas, Jimenez, and Diaz all warming up. That is Noah Powder. Guzin. Maybe one of his final involvements this evening. And it's not the best one. And now those changes will take place. Quadruple swap. It is Guzin who goes off for Noah Powder. McGlynn goes off for Alexi Armas. Blumstein off for Jimenez. And Miguel Diaz is the final piece in the equation. He replaces Burko on the right flank. 4 changes for Westchester, and regular starters in the likes of McGlynn and Guzin vacating. All 4 of those changes presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. And it is good to see Miguel Diaz back on the pitch for Westchester. He opened the season in lively fashion, enjoyed a really promising shift as a starter against Charlotte Independence in mid-March before missing the next 9 matches with injury, and it's been a stop-start return to play in the last couple weeks. But now he gets 25 minutes to show his stuff as he looks to find an equalizer for this Westchester side that has been struggling of late. Pierre is back for Marinelli, who just about cleans things up. Bockstein is getting into it with Marinelli, and the yellow immediately shown to Westchester's goalkeeper. Bockstein booked for likely his initial reaction. And Luca Marinelli, that was just unnecessary. Get another look here. It seems all rather innocuous. Marinelli picks it up. It's a slight touch from Bockstein, but not much in that. And then they're both talking the entire time. It's Marinelli who calls the ref over and then just shoves him. It's completely unprompted. Bockstein seems less than pleased with that. The aura of contentiousness continues. And that yellow card, presented by the exclusive personal injury attorneys of FC Naples, the law offices of Markel Shapiro. We'll see if either of those yellow cards come back to bite Marinelli or Bockstein. And this is a less important footnote, but if Westchester can flip the script, which seems to be a big if with the way this match has unfolded so far, the goalkeeper in Marinelli would have no room to draw a yellow card for time wasting, otherwise he'd be sent off. As of now, that isn't a major topic of concern because Westchester finds themselves 1-0 down and has hardly threatened, but they can find themselves in front. That is a moment to put a pin in for sure. All in all, our referee is going to have quite the task if he hopes to keep things under control here, because it's been a testy one effectively from the jump. Rain delay that lasted over an hour, not enough to blunt the tempers He's played long for Boxstein. Marinelli will claim. It's turned over here. Cisneros charging forward. Gray into the path of Osorio, who continues on. Cisneros has flop flanks, drives it goalward. Marinelli was ready for it that time. Fantasy football is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Final 20 minutes back in here from the Paradise Coast Sports Complex. FC Naples, a narrow lead in the Snowbird Derby, courtesy of William Arevalo on 45 minutes. Sam Goldfarb taking you the remainder of the way in this one. These teams continue to throw different moves into the chess match, and it's a double swap now for Naples. Ian Cerro into the action for Dominic Boxstein up top. Meanwhile, one more change. Aiden Macias enters for William Arevalo. That a more defense-minded change as Naples looks to lock up shop. Cerro for Boxstein, Macias for Arevalo. Both changes presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, Moored Paradise. Macias, a veteran of USL League One, spent multiple years with Forward Madison as a fixture in their 11 when healthy, and boasts tremendous quality. Bounced around a number of prominent English academies as a youngster, including 7 years with QPR, which is an EFL Championship club at this current moment. During his stay there, though, they were in the Premier League for a number of seasons. Ian Cerro, meanwhile, is a player that Matt Poland is exceptionally familiar with. Doesn't just sign players that he has experience watching or working with in Chicago. He also will sign players that have given his team problems. Singled out Ian Cerro on the phone this week, someone who used to play in Nisa for Georgia Lions back in the day. Played against Matt Poland at Chicago House, and he said that Ian Cerro was a nightmare to both game plan for and contend with on the pitch. Noah Powder is chasing after this and is a few footsteps late. Part of Matt Poland's recruitment strategy, which is so flexible. Farine lets it run. Maybe he shouldn't have done that. Jimenez, former NYCFC 2 standout. He was a darling in the Open Cup 2 years ago. Dickerson. Left that dangling. Does Westchester have a magical moment in its locker? Or will it be another brutal defeat to extend this winless run to 7 matches? Diaz. Cisneros fires right back. A little extra in that challenge. Extracurriculars flying all over the pitch, and Cisneros has found himself in the mix a few times. Just takes that bump from Diaz and shoves him right back. It has been that type of fixture, and you're beginning to understand why this derby has taken root. Miguel Diaz is still clutching his jaw. Hearing word Westchester is readying one final change. Daniel Bauman will make way for Samori Powder, and that suggests a potential shift to a 3-back. Likely Powder would be a wing-back in that scenario, as would his brother Noah, both with experience playing attack-minded fullback roles in the past. It's a loose clearance there from Dickerson. Pierre away at the second time of asking. Farine. Shot by Pierre. Stop-start action has been the theme of the night in the Snowbird Derby. Either side able to produce many free-flowing moments. It's been all off giveaways or counters. Other than that, breaking teams down out of open play has been more of a hopeful thought than anything. It is Farine and Osorio. And now just Osorio. Arcs it in, headed away. Back into the mix for Cerro. He nearly got there, and Marinelli has to race off his line. Now we're hearing word that Dickerson will make way for Powder. Not a more like-for-like change at fullback. Cisneros. Farine. Cerro. Farine chasing after this. Marinelli there once again. Timed all the leaps off his line well, and George Jokai says he feels that's a strength of his. Now here's Evans, who boasts many strengths for Westchester. Now that change will finally take place, and it is Dickerson making way for Samori Powder, the younger brother of Noah Powder, who has produced moments of magic in the past. He's known for his athleticism, his buccaneering runs forward. His highlight reel moment, a little over a year ago to this day, at Spokane, producing a wonder goal on the volley to open the scoring in that eventual defeat. He is definitely a more assertive presence. That substitution presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, Warren Paradise. Long throw now. Macias. Cerro. Picks out Gray with expertise. And a chance for Naples now. Osorio beats Pierre for pace. Osorio is in, looking around the keeper, cuts it across, and Armas makes himself an obstacle. Chance still alive though for Naples. Cerro back into the mix. It comes loose for Osorio, back for Gray. Finally away again, and Westchester survives the moment of chaos. You see Osorio has the beating of Pierre, but Marinelli does so well to close down the angle and just keeps himself in the mix. And Armas with a goal-saving block to clear it away after Farine bashed it goalward. Those are the moments where a year ago Naples might take the chance. Farine now gives it away. Samori Powder. Well beyond the reach of Kyle Evans. And now Cerro for Naples. The match finally with some pace and fluidity. Upended by Powder, and an instant yellow card as a result for Noah. Yellow card presented by the exclusive personal injury attorneys of FC Naples, the law offices of Markel Shapiro. That's become a common scenario. It has been the battle of Paradise Coast here tonight. Yellow card after yellow card. Physical interchange after physical interchange, and extracurricular after extracurricular. This is a studs-up tackle. Noah Powder just comes in and lashes at him. And unfazed by the yellow card that results. Andres Farine seemed intent that should have been more than a yellow. Another free kick for Naples. O'Connor and Torres are the two standing over it. Both have the technical ability to play this into a dangerous spot. Wouldn't put it past O'Connor to have a rip either. It's clipped in by Torres. Headed away by Jennings. Now Farine on the turn. So Powder makes himself a problem. Macias. Farine. Back for Aiden Macias. Plays it along to Taylor Gray. Cross comes in. It's fumbled by Marinelli. And collects it the second time of asking. A heart and throat moment for a brief second there for Westchester. Evans. Jimenez. Evans again. Deep into his bag of tricks now. Pierre. Jimenez. Drives inside. Left it loose for Torres though. This may become the final measure of things. Westchester desperately setting numbers forward. Naples numbers behind the ball, trying to protect what they have. Sets up Naples kindly for a potential counter off of a giveaway. Bauman sprays it forward. It's an inviting ball to Samori Powder. Kept it in play only briefly. Pierre. One back, and Naples with numbers. Farine. Waits for support. Farine. Almost in the way. Osorio is fouled. And another yellow card out of a referee's pocket, this time for Jonathan Jimenez.
To Westchester. Number 27.
It's become a yellow card fest in this fixture.
This yellow card brought to you
a seventh in this match, the bulk of which have been directed at Westchester, and that yellow card presented by the exclusive personal injury attorneys of FC Naples, law offices of Markel Shapiro. Jimenez follows through there on Osorio. Textbook yellow, and he doesn't even hesitate. Our referee. Fourth yellow card for Westchester, seventh of the match. And we still have 9 minutes and change to sort things out. If this ends in another defeat, George Jokai will likely be frustrated for a far different reason to last week. I think nobody would have argued Westchester didn't merit something on paper from the performance they logged against New York Cosmos last Friday night. Here tonight, they've really struggled going forward, despite a few key moments, the Guzin chance early on, but it has been a rather tame performance in the final third, and I think he probably senses that. Despite a night where they've been largely defensively secure, they may walk out if you're empty-handed again, if not for a moment of magic the other way. It's a Westchester side that has suffered defeat in all 4 of its previous league matches. At the moment, destined for 5th. Osorio. Cerro. Fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Well inside the final 10 minutes from Paradise Coast Sports Complex, and a narrow 1-0 advantage for FC Naples, courtesy of William Aravallo. And they will make one further change before the night is done. It is a defense-minded one. Taylor Gray is off for Tristan Rose, who returns after being forced to exit with injury 6 nights ago. He will help finish things out for Naples as they look for their first league victory since April 11th. That substitution presented by Seminole Casino Hotel Immokalee, more in Paradise. Armas, someone George Jokai has known since he was a child. Played long for Jimenez, who claims this well. He's looking to play it wide and had it broken up at the source. Noah Powder now. His cross deflected. It's an acrobatic clearance attempt that fails and goes out for a corner. Sorio slow to return to his feet. It is Samori Powder who stands over it. Corner kick presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. In swinging ball. And it's a weak header. Enter the Brinks Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on screen and enter today. Dying embers of this one now. Naples clinging to a narrow advantage. Diaz drifting inside now for Westchester. Jimenez. 5 minutes and change for Westchester to find a leveler. Otherwise, they are doomed to yet another defeat. Cerro. Down the line, Macias, a lung-bursting run. It is a throw for Naples. More time to drain precious seconds off the clock. This would be a big 3 points for Naples. The schedule going forward is not necessarily favorable. They have to travel to Omaha next week before taking on Charlotte at home. Charlotte, a fixture they'd feel they should win, but Independence coming off a strong performance themselves this evening. Pierre. Diaz after it. Miglietti engaging. And the ball ran out of play. No rush for Joshua Grant to take this. And it is all a game of game management now for FC Naples. 7 matches winless in all comps. That the longest such record in club history. They can end it in one fell swoop here. Macias lofting it for Farine. Cerro after it now. Armas pings it ahead to Reyes. Wise decision. Has been an interesting trend for Westchester. This was a squad that opened the year flying. 12 goals in their opening 5 league matches. Since then, though, they have frankly struggled mightily in league play. Goalless in the last 3 league matches. That trend set to continue. Have not scored since that second half dagger against Sarasota Paradise in their last league win on April 8th. A Dean Guzin tally to cap off his brace. Since then, their only tallies coming in cup competition. It is a scoreless drought that will threaten to extend to well north of 390 minutes in league play. Far cry from a Westchester side that bagged 40 goals a year ago and boasted the league's Golden Boot winner in J.C. Obergon. They've been lacking that go-to presence up front, at least these last few weeks. To Reyes. Final minute of the 90. It's tricky from Farine, and he does enough to win a free kick and drain more time off the clock. Fans continue to urge their beloved FC Naples on. They are so close to getting back in the win column. All eyes will be on our 4th official in a matter of moments. Marinelli rushing to get this back underway. Stoppage time presented by Classic Diamond Plumbing. It is 7 minutes that separate us from full time. So renewed hope for Westchester in the dying embers. It's a match that has featured plenty of stop-start action and yellow cards aplenty. Pierre. Evans. Pierre again. He's looking down the line for Diaz. It's an ill-fated pass forward, though. The referee will hurry up Osorio to get things underway. I get the sense that a yellow card for time wasting won't be out of the question here for Naples players. Bauman. Westchester staring a Snowbird Derby defeat in the face. Across the first 2 meetings, just 1 point in 2025. A side that has won a grand total of 2 league road matches throughout its history. It would take something dramatic to change that stat now. Armas. Samori Powder. Armas only keeps it in play briefly. He was fouled, though. And maybe, just maybe, a chance for Westchester to throw a wrench in the plot. Noah Powder will do the honors. Convoy of white kits on the precipice of the penalty box. Powder plays it forward. It is flicked along. It's a tremendous save Joshua Grant comes up big when they need him most. A corner for Westchester, presented by Anderson. Chance not necessarily gone yet for the Golden Apple. Hooked in from Samori Powder. It's claimed briefly and away by Osorio. Now Marinelli well off his line. Well, how about that save moments ago from Joshua Grant? He made two colossal stops to keep Naples in the match against Jacksonville Sunday, and he preserves the advantage in a must-save moment mere seconds ago. We'll have to deal with another free kick for Westchester, though, this time from the opposite flank. Midway through the added 7 minutes. Noah Powder and Alexi Armas, the two. What can they conjure from this? Armas into the mixer. Cleared only as far as Jimenez. Who gets it back? Armas in acres of space. Has a pop! Deflects wide. Had Grant frozen. Another corner kick for Westchester, starting to rack up the counter. Presented by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. Samori Powder getting target practice now. Another in-swinger. It's dangerous. Mastro Antonio gets his head to it, though. Powder. He plays it back in. Jennings was racing onto it, but couldn't reach it. And was that the last gasp from the Golden Apple? Grant will take as much air out of this as possible. Naples 90 seconds from a critical 3 points. That would power them into the top 4 as things currently stand. Pierre. Snatched back by Torres, and this is Macias. Final minute of the added 7, and it may be destination corner flag now. Torres, he ventures that way, but loses it out of play. And this likely Westchester's final chance. Golden Apple staring at a 6th defeat in the last 7 across all competitions, a 4th consecutive league defeat without scoring, unless they can procure an equalizer here. It must come now. Jimenez. Evans arcs it in, headed behind by Rose. One final corner on the way. It is brought to you by Anderson. Trust your home to Anderson. It is Noah Powder's chance to change things. The 7 minutes are up. Marinelli is up for the corner as well. Hooked in, headed on by Makic and cleared off the line. And the full-time whistle sounds. Gio Miglietti, heroic at the last. And Naples prevails with all 3 points in the Snowbird Derby. William Aravallo's goal on the stroke of halftime, the difference maker. And FC Naples has ended the longest winless rut in its club's young history. Naples back into the top four. Westchester 4 points adrift. And they weather the late storm to see this one over the line. It finishes 1-0 in favor of the hosts, who claim another victory in the Snowbird Derby and climb into the top four of the League One table. We'll step aside briefly when we return a look back at a chaotic 90 minutes from the Paradise Coast. Stick with us. Welcome back to Naples, where things have kicked off after the whistle in this first of two Snowbird Derby clashes of the season. FC Naples prevailing by a 1-0 scoreline in a match that was contentious from the get-go. And let's get a look back at how it all unfolded on our full-time highlights presented by Physicians Regional Healthcare System. Care for every goal. This was chaotic from the jump. Naples pushing on early, creating a number of chances. Dominic Bockstein heading this one over. And then on 45 minutes, they found the breakthrough. The match's lone goal. Marinelli and company can't clear this. It falls nicely for William Aravallo, who just bashes it in. It's not cleared convincingly by Bauman. A slight touch carries it to Aravallo, whose first professional goal was enough to put Naples in front. And then 2 minutes after the restart, you see Westchester begin to ask questions. McGlynn, a training ground routine in which he just can't find the bottom right corner. It comes off perfectly except for the finish. Grant late there into action, but it doesn't matter. And then on the other end, on 76 minutes, Osorio and company drawing Marinelli out of goal, but Armas makes himself an obstacle to clear it off the line. And then in stoppage time, our save of the match presented by Carter Fence, Quality Fences, trusted service for over 35 years. It's a flick-on header from Bauman, ultimately a brilliant stop from the goalkeeper, Joshua Grant, who shows his capacity to make big saves in key moments. In terms of our full-time stats, which are presented by Arthrex, does an injury have you benched? Explore orthopedic treatment options today at orthopedia.com, powered by Arthrex. The numbers mostly do favor FC Naples. More shots on goal, but Westchester had the possession edge in the second half, especially the final 15 minutes, and they did force two saves out of Joshua Grant in the end. All in all, Naples deserved winners. They were able to score and take the sting out of things. Westchester, though, a game effort in stoppage time. George Jokai would just be hoping that that could have extended beyond the final 15 minutes and change. That is where things finish here from Naples, where FC Naples snaps a 7-match winless run and powers themselves back into the top four of the USL League One table. Westchester, meanwhile, 4 points adrift. For our terrific crew, I'm Sam Goldfarb saying so long from Paradise Coast Sports Complex, where it finishes Naples 1, Westchester 0. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.